So this is basically a dashboard which I made for our education department. We had the data from the education department in which we need to determine some questions that how many students in the age of school going are not actually going to the schools. And we also need to highlight the regions with the low enrollment problem. Uh, Similarly, we also need to identify the problem with teacher to student ratio, which means we need to identify the regions with the low teacher to student ratio. And also we need to determine the problems are being faced by the city named Karachi. And we also have to determine the availability of institutions to students, which means that they want to know that if enough institutions are available in each region for students. And we made this dashboards. The first one, this tells about the number of students who are outside the school. And if you can see that this number goes from 19% to 91%, and it's, I mean, it's really, really high. But that is also the reason for this data analysis to determine the regions which are struggling with the low enrollment. And you can see that there are significant amount of districts which are struggling with that. And then we have teacher to student ratio, and that goes from 10.5 to 1.7, and that teacher to student ratio is around is per thousand students. So you can see it here that in the lowest form it's 1.7, which means around one or less than two teachers per thousand student, and the max we have 10. These numbers are not really encouraging, but obviously the analysis gives the insight over which the government can work on. And if you see it here, the regional comparison, the India has 5.4 per thousand students, Bangladesh has 2.6, Pakistan has better 7 on average, but in principle, overall, it's not a really best teacher to student ratio if we compare it with the rest of the world. And then we have in this graph number of institutions available per thousand. And here you can also see that there are some districts where even less than one and then one institution is available per thousand, and at the max we have four institutions per thousand. So this is also signifies the regions which has a low number of institution available, so government can plan according to that. And then at the last we have some comparison with the data, and you can see that the Pakistan literacy rate from 2005 to 2020 goes from 50 to 58%, which is, I mean, in today's world, you can see that literacy rate, if a country has less than 60% for even in the last 2 decades almost, and it's not going up, then there's some significant problem, and that needs to be resolved. And then we had the median age. If you see it here, the median age, you see that the median age Pakistan has it around in 2024 somewhere around 21, which means that half of the population are still less than 21-year-old, which means that most of them should be in school. And if we see the data, we know that there are significant areas where over 90% or over 80% people are outside the school. And then we also have the budget spending. And if we see the budget spending are increasing year by year. But if we see the enrollment, if we see the, I mean, the status of literacy rate, that's not changing significantly, and that's where the problem is. And overall, if we talk about the spending of Pakistan with respect to the GDP, It's also around 10% of its GDP, which Pakistan is spending on the education. So, I mean, with all these numbers, there is some significant improvements needed in order to make sure that Pakistan would able to increase the literacy rate. That's all from my side for this project. Thank you.